Hi, I'm Mikey.
And I'm Nikki.
And welcome to Virtual Camp Hollywood 2020. This is your solo drills class for Lindy Hop, beginner intermediate level. This is great for if you're dancing by yourself. Great.
It's always good to work on your triple steps anyway.
Definitely.
So we have a series of exercises that we're going to go through, but before we even get started, we want to talk a little bit about just the basic triple step out of context of our basic patterns. So just going through the triple, I'm going to start with my...
Yeah, we can start with our right.
Yeah, we're both going to start with our right?
Yeah, I think throughout the whole class, we'll all start with our right. It's just a lot easier to start on one foot altogether. Even if we're looking at you, you can just mirror us. It doesn't really matter.
And it's great practice if you're used to doing one side or the other.
Exactly.
So starting with our right foot, we're all just going to do a basic triple step in place. Alternate 5, 6, ready, and triple step, 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 down and down, down and down, down and down, down and down, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So you'll notice as we're going through our triple steps, we have this down pulse on every step, down and down, as opposed to having an up feeling with our triples. We want to keep everything moving down and into the ground. Along the same vein as that, we have this little bit of a lull in our triple steps. So instead of triple stepping 1, 2, 3, we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So give it a try on your own. Practice what it sounds like a straight triple and what that means to your feet. A straight triple is going to look like this. It's very even, ba, ba, ba. But the swung triple is going to look like this. And you can see that loftiness in Mikey's body as he's doing that. Good job, Mikey.
Thank you.
So let's try that all together with that loftiness on our swung triple step. 5, 6, ready, and triple step, triple step, triple step, triple step, down and down, down and down, down and down.
2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7. One more time, and then 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7. Keep going. We're going to go forward and back on the next 8. Here we go. 5, 6, forward. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Stay in place for an 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Now go backwards a bit. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and let's call it quits. So I threw that in there because you're going to want to learn to move through your triple steps as well. So we're talking about rhythm, and we're talking about movement around the dance floor, within your area, basically. And the subject of rhythm, I know this is going to sound silly, but it comes from my butt. Now what I mean when I say that is that bounce or that lull that we keep talking about within our body. It comes from kind of the lower part of your hips area, and that way you can kind of drop it as your leg goes up. I think we have the tendency sometimes if we're beginner dancers especially, is that when we put our foot down, it kind of stiffens a little bit and it raises our body up. But if we relax through our hips a little bit, you can let yourself fall through a step as opposed to just stop as soon as you put your foot down. And that's something that's going to have to grow in your body. It's something that's learned for sure. But as soon as you know it, you'll feel so much more softer within your body.
Yeah, along that same idea, I like to think of, rather than step, like Mikey said, which kind of puts a period on things, I like to think of it as a push. So not only am I going down, but I'm pushing to the next step everywhere we go, with a triple, with a walk, whatever it is. You want to think about the movement that happens after the step, as opposed to just making it final.
Yeah. Taking the rhythm that we just learned, plus the kind of exercises in our body to keep ourselves lofty or a little more relaxed, we're going to move into another version or variation of the triple step that we like to call the anchor step. Okay? I'm going to do it from this angle at first. I'm going to face Nikki. And I'm going to place my right foot behind my left, just like that. And that's the angle at which our feet are going to be in. Before, when we were doing that first exercise, they were kind of right next to each other, just like that. Okay? Now take your right foot behind your left, just slightly. We are doing it maybe a little more exaggerated, just so you can see the space between our feet. That's about it. Okay? So from here, we're going to do our triple step going backwards. So place your weight forward. Now go triple step back. Triple step. Keeping that shape, you're right behind your left the entire time. Try that one more time. We're going triple step. Okay? Now this is very funny because you're not going to step forward on that forward step. Right now it's your left foot. soon we'll switch it around, it'll be on your right, but I really want you to get used to this push-off feeling. So don't go directly on top of your foot and then push off. It's the same feeling that Nikki was just talking about, pushing off the foot. Now to do that, you don't necessarily need to be on top of it. See, look, we're bending our knees into it, and that helps us push away from it. Now that comes in the in-between, the and step, right? So if we start here, we're going 1, push, step. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, push, step. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, push, step. Last one, 5, 6, 7, and 1, push, step. Okay. Switching to the other side, just like this. Now your left foot is behind your right. It's the same idea. 5, 6, 7, and 1, push, step. A 5, 6, 7, and triple step. 5, 6, 7, and triple step. Okay. So one last little note for me is that when I'm doing this, I'm showing you a little flat-footed right now. When I really do it, I try to bend my knees, which helps push my weight forward onto the balls of my feet, or the forward part of your foot, not necessarily just the ball, but forward a little bit. So when I do this triple step, you can see my heel is up, just a little bit behind. It's not completely flat. So it goes triple step. That way, again, that same thing Nikki talked about earlier, that loftiness and that push-off of feeling is still there. You're never static.
So we're going to put this together and we're going to alternate. Right side, left side, right side, left side. So we're going to start with our weight on our left foot.
Yep.
And we're going to start with that right anchor, and we'll walk you through it nice and slow. We go 5, 6, ready, and
1,
triple step,
2,
shift, do it again,
3, and
triple
4, 5,
triple
and
step,
6, 7,
triple
8,
step,
1,
triple
and
step,
2, 3,
triple
4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. You'll notice that you're going to travel backwards. That's totally fine. When you're first starting this out, that transition step between the triple steps is going to push you back. So if you do it like this, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2, transition back just a little bit, you can see we're moving away. It's very natural to do that. Actually, you want to use that in the future. But right now, we also want to use the opposite of that, which is staying a little more in place. So when you transition, you're more replacing the back foot as opposed to stepping behind it. So, super slow motion, triple step, replace it, triple step. Then that push forward becomes a little more natural as opposed to you're trying to catch yourself as you fall backwards. Triple step, triple step. Now, notice you are going to float back a little bit, but not as much as you were before. Okay? Let's do that one more time, trying to stay in one place. Here we go. 5, 6, right foot, 5, 6, triple anchor. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 again. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8.
It can be really easy to get caught up in the placement of your feet and what's happening, but what's really actually important here, yes, the foot placement, but more than anything else, we're still focusing on that rhythm. So every time you do that triple step, fight for that feeling. Again, 5, 6, ready, and
1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and pause. One last thing on the anchor step is just as important as everything else. You're thinking of one part, which makes you think of another part, which makes you think of another part, another part, another part. Okay? So every time you think of one little thing to do with your feet, notice you have to do something with your legs. Then notice you have to do something with your hips. Then notice you have to do something with your chest. That's where we are right now. With your chest right here, you're going to open up a little bit to the right and left. So for instance, and we're going to exaggerate this a little bit just so you can get the idea of it. If we're doing this anchor step and we're facing away from you like this, it's a little weird because our feet are like this, right? We're robotic, as opposed to being a little more open, right? And now just switch your feet, and you can see how your chest switches open as well, or the forward part of your body, whatever you want to think of it, like this, and switch your feet again, just like that. I like to keep my hands open because as a leader, I have this position a lot on the end of my swing outs and stuff, so it helps with that. But however you want to think about it, whatever helps you, you want to be open.
Yeah, if you think about the context of where we use this feeling, typically it's the leaders at the end of a swing out.
Triple step.
That's the familiar piece that we're playing with here.
Let's try this all again, making sure we have this kind of shape, bend in our knees, push off our feet, hips are bent low, shoulders are twisted one side, shoulders and chest are twisted one side or the other. So here we go. Start with the right foot 2 times through. 5, 6, 7, go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Again, here we go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Let's try that one more time, super slow. 5, 6, and 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Again, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. All these exercises we're going to show you today are meant to be done for an entire song. Okay? Put on any one of your favorite songs, hopefully a slow one to begin with because it does get monotonous and gets a little crazy. You want to try to do it from the very beginning of the song to the very end. If you need to take breaks a little bit here and there, that's totally fine. Keep track of how many breaks you take because the next time you do it, hopefully you do less breaks and less breaks and less breaks until you're dancing the entire song.
Okay, before we put this all together with music, we're going to do one more exercise and we're going to do it as a combination. So this is one that the followers are typically really familiar with, but we're going to throw a wrench in it right off the bat and we're going to start it on the opposite side because we're all starting with our right foot today. So the piece that we're going to play with is the swivel prep that you would do before your swivels, but we're going to take out the swivels and we're going to focus on that swivel prep triple step. Starting on our right foot, opening to our right, typically it's opposite that. So we're going to go 5, 6, 7, 8, triple, open, triple, open, triple, open, open. So let me break it down a little bit more because I know that can be really confusing, especially if you've never done this on the opposite side before. So starting with our right foot, again, we're thinking about arcing the triple step to our right. So I'm going to go triple with a little collect and open. Triple, open. Triple, open, triple, open. Collect your feet underneath you and open. Triple, open, triple, open, triple, open, triple step and add the rhythm. Triple step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like what the leaders were doing before, or when they open on a swing out, we're keeping this upper body, chest situation open as well when we're doing this. So, starting with the triple again, triple step. Unlike when we do this in a swing out, where we stay facing this direction as we do this motion, we're going to allow that little bit of extra open to happen as we do this, just to make it flow nice and easy from side to side. Okay? So, again, just like that, starting with your right, 5, 6, ready, and
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's keep it going. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. One more time. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8.
You don't have to think so much about traveling side to side. If you are a follow and you do want to practice this with the more of a swivel motion, you want to get your hips more involved. So think about keeping it small underneath your body and allow this heel to drive through as you do it. So we're going to triple twist, triple twist, triple twist. And again, like Mikey said before, we want to have this down motion with the lower half of our body so that we can find this extra rotation. So whether you're going long and linear or small and rotational, we want to find the rhythm regardless.
Another thing that I find in common with this rotational or swivel prep and the anchor step is that it's really important to start with the idea of what you're doing. You're doing triple step within a rhythm, right? So if you can get that going, that's going to be great. Then start adding in all the shapes, then start adding in all the other upper body stuff that you can do, okay? Don't try to like make yourself crazy by doing all of it at once. That's where you need to grow to. If you're doing that all at once, awesome. Then keep doing it because these are great exercises to do no matter what level you are.
Okay, so let's focus on the rhythm. Take this however you like. Ready? 5, 6,
Right foot.
5, 6, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, and 6, and 7, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 2 more time. 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 7. Last time. 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7, and pause. So let's put the anchor step and the swivel prep together. We're going to do 2/8 of each. That means 2/8 of anchor steps and 2/8 of swivel preps. Okay, we're going to do it really, really slow, and we'll tell you when we're about to change. Here we go. Starting with the anchor step, right foot back. Here we go. 5, 6, a 5, a 6, an anchor step, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and one more set. 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Now rotational. Here we go. 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. One more 8.
1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8.
Pause. Let's do that one more time, the exact same thing. And I know what you're asking, how do you transition? We'll go over that in just a minute. Okay, here we go. 5, 6, a 5, a 6, a 7, anchor. 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and anchor. 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Swivel prep, go. 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. One more.
7, 8, and 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right, nice job.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Good job, you.
Yeah, good job, you, and you, and you, and maybe 10 more of you, hopefully.
Hopefully.
So let's talk about the transition between the anchor and the swivel prep. Okay, it's not very different. The only difference is you swing your foot a little further than you would normally on an anchor. So, and we'll talk about the opposite as well, the opposite transition. So as an anchor step goes, I'm putting my foot I'm putting it directly behind the other foot. If you want to think of it as kind of two different tracks, that's okay too, but it's still behind it. Now for swivel prep, for at least my point of view of it, for the way I do it myself, I'm not speaking for Nikki, I put it slightly behind and to the left, so back here. And you can see the difference. Anchor and swivel prep. Now I do that for myself. It's a little more exaggerated, obviously, right here, but I do that for myself so I can remind myself that I need to twist open. Because it twists open my body already in a different direction than I normally would. Okay? So one part of it is training my body to make sure that if I put my foot there, it's going to move my entire whole body, right? But the other part of it is also remembering this little routine that we have for ourselves.
I completely agree. I don't need to say anything. So.
Yay! That's a good year to listen to her. Okay, so as we do this feeling here, let's just try it really slow motion. 1/8 of anchor step into the swivel prep. That way we just get it done. Okay? 5, 6, anchor step. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, get ready. Here it comes.
7,
We'll wrap
8,
around.
1 and 2, 3 and 4.
Continue to wrap
5
around.
and 6, 7,
Pause right
8.
here. Don't move. Right here. Now, you're here on your left foot. That's where your weight is. Now we want to transition back into the anchor step, which goes straight back. So my foot isn't going to go over here anymore, this foot. It's going to go back here. Nice and easy. 1 and 2. Continue. 3 and 4. 5 and 6. And switch. Here we go. 1 and 2. 3 and 4. 5 and 6. Anchor step. 1 and 2. 3 and 4. 5 and 6. And swivel prep. 1 and 2. 3 and 4. 5 and 6. And anchor steps. Boom. Okay, we started with doing a bunch of anchor steps and a bunch of swivel preps. Then we combined 2/8 of anchor steps and 2/8 of swivel preps, then 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. Again, every time we feel like we get it, we try to make it a little more difficult by changing the transition or doing something in our upper body or changing something up in a rhythm, which is the very final section. In my opinion of like training this idea of triple steps, changing up the rhythm is that's the really key thing, okay? So, right now, we want to try it one more time, just changing back and forth at a kind of normal speed. We're going to go anchor step for an 8, then swivel prep and back and forth, changing every 8.
Okay, ready? 5, 6, 5, 6, ready?
Anchor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Swivel
8.
prep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Anchor
back to
step.
Anchor. 1, 2,
3,
3,
4,
4, 5, 6.
Swivel prep.
8. 1 and open.
And keep it going. Here we go. Anchor step.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Swivel.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Anchor
7,
step.
8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Last
6,
swivel back.
7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Hold it and close it out.
8. Let's give that a try with music. Alternating between the anchor step and the swivel prep to a slower song, so you can really focus on finding the rhythm.
5, 6, 7,
these exercises and practice them on your own and eventually incorporate them into your social dancing someday when we can social dance again.
All right. Thank you all very much. We hope to see you later. Bye.